again. So now I am going to be talking with JL, Jana, Lynne, Umipig, who's faculty for consciousness of radical equity, teaching radical ethics. Janelyn and Minka has been in community since 2016. She was one of the first people who have come over to start working with us. And for those of you who know JL, she's a kick-ass community organizer, educator, artist, and all the things. So, Janelyn into the space to have this conversation on a place where love and ethics converge. Hey, babes!
Hi.
Hi, thank you for coming.
Hey, so excited.
Me too. It's always a pleasure to be here with you, or be anywhere with you, actually. But
Yeah.
yay! So I was just kind of introducing you to them. If there's anything else that you want to share, where you are in terms of like how you're feeling and all of that, I want to leave
No,
that for you.
I mean I heard the intro and it made me feel a little nostalgic
I
to be.
know, I know,
Yeah.
it's been a long time, but I
What was
mean,
the year? It was your first year, right? When Minka first
yeah, it
opened.
was 2016 because we met at Harriet's Apothecary. And you're
Yeah.
like, hey, sis, I'm going to come over. I was like, okay, great. Come over.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And with nostalgia, I also feel the appreciation of years of experience we had together and to be able to feel the love through it all.
Yeah. I definitely, I feel that there is a real convergence of pathways
Mm-hmm.
for not just you and I, but like for the continuous spiral of folks that have moved through that space and that have also opened up more entry points for the spiritual path to grow, but with this aligned purpose, so I feel
Mm,
really about also joining you all fully in core and
yeah.
to return back to that, because we were all in this kind of synergetic space in the physical space in Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
And I think continuously being linked through the community, through our relationship with each other, has been a grounding force in my life, because there are very few places um, that you can feel super centered, you know, in your spiritual
Mm,
path and be in collectivity in this way. So
yeah.
I feel super grateful. Yeah.
Well, I feel super grateful you feel that way. And the affirmation that we must be doing something, right?
Yeah. Yeah. For real.
It's
Like,
it is actually hard to not, because I think one of the danger of patting ourselves, on our backs constantly is that like we start becoming blind to what the impact is, right? If we are self-congratulatory about it, then
mhm.
then we can be blinded by the fact that we might have a certain impact that we don't know. And if we are not believing in what we are doing, then that we don't also push our work out. So it's always like a delicate dance for me.
Yeah. But I also
Uh,
think that what I've
no, go
experienced from
ahead.
what I've experienced from every person who's a part of Minka and has committed to Minka is that there there's a courageousness of just, we're not afraid to confront our shadows. I think that they're very like central to the work.
Yeah.
And I also
Yeah.
think it's really easy for all of us to also enter so many spaces, whether large or intimate, where folks may like, be in question of us. And then we have to be in question of ourselves, which I think is super telling of why this particular container of core has emerged in Minka, because we
Mm,
are in that inquiry consistently with ourselves and each other as practitioners about the ways that we can be and remain in our integrity, and where we
mm-hmm.
can be in our accountability within ourselves, but also in community with each other, which is the most essential part, right? Whenever I think about accountability, I think about how you can, like, the folks that are really going to hold me to my integrity are the ones that are committing to my life. So
Mm-hmm.
and I see the folks in Minka having decades of relation with each other for a reason, not because
Yeah.
we're just self-congratulatory and like always bigging each other up, but because we're not afraid to, in any moment, just be like, I don't know about that, or like,
Mm-hmm.
be like, what's going on with you, or like, to really call
Mm-hmm.
into a space of reflection. So yeah, I share
Yeah.
all of this with you all because in this particular container of being invited into this live, because I really do believe in core. For any folks who know of me in my spiritual path and work, folks know that I don't say yes very often.
Really? You don't?
No, I don't. Not in the spiritual work. For you, I say yes to you all the time, Aki.
I know.
Yes.
I'm like, really?
Yes to Aki, but like there's just it's a really like I think that for me it's just really difficult to truly meet folks who, I think that it's because of the collective that you surround yourself with, Aki, that like not everyone have those checkpoints in
Mm,
consistency, and have also made these real decisions to grow with one another in it. Like, I know a lot of folks who are in communion with each other, but to actually say with one another, we're gonna do this, and we're also gonna like stake our and place our risk of our livelihoods with one another. There's another level
yeah.
of trust. I've been a part of a lot of spaces also where we had a container with one another, but it couldn't maintain itself because there wasn't the ability to fully hold one another accountable to
Yeah.
the. And I've bared witness, been like stepping in and out of uh yeah, just in the relational container of Minka, and every time that I come in, I'm like, oh, they're still doing it. Like, like this is like they're still doing it. I think about you, Manu, and Baba, and I'm just like, they're out here. They're really about this, and about this with each other, which is such a testament. So for me to
Yeah.
say yes is, I'm not gonna say it's easy because I'm a busy person, but I can say that there's a desire to be
Mm.
with you all. So
Well,
yeah.
we take that as an honor. Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, that really speaks to what you were saying is really true, and I feel very honored to be seen that way. And I almost feel as though that there is some sort of like, I don't know, spiritual or like some sort of a contracts that we have with one another. It's not, if you were to hear what we just say and think about it on a face value, it seems like it's so hard to be there, right? Like, oh my God, we have to be always looking at our shadows, but it's super easy with us. Those who stays find it to be very easy because I the with a permission and a commitment to be with one another comes a certain level of ease to not be perfect.
Yep. Hmm.
And it is so deeply comforting to be amongst people who know that and who constantly tell on themselves about how imperfect they all are, and
Mm-hmm.
therefore that I'm so safe to be imperfect
Mm-hmm.
myself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not this like really stressful or really tense environment where we are looking at this, but we just, one of our mentor Milton will always say we are walking each other home.
Mm-hmm.
It's this sense of ease that we have with one another at Minka that, and you're right, and we know how easy and feel good it can be when we do this work,
Mm-hmm.
that people should know about this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, yes. Yes, yes, yes. I absolutely agree with you. And
Yeah.
it's reminding me I've been um really like delving into the work of Kingian nonviolence, which I don't know if you're entirely familiar with, but
Tell me more about
um
that.
I invite folks to dive into that work really deeply. It's actually the work in continuation of Martin Luther King Jr.'s
Mm-hmm.
invitation to institutionalize nonviolence in the
Mm.
resistance. And he,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's 6 principles that are embedded. Don't take me for my word because I've just begun in this past 2 years to really um, arrive to spaces that are working with it. But one of the
Mm-hmm.
principles talks about how the blueprint is the beloved community.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Yeah.
and I and that's what I feel with Minka. It is such a beloved community, and that is why, for me, there is that ease um,
Yeah.
that happens because we also recognize like I think the imperfection that you're talking about is like wholeness of,
Yeah.
you know, and I also
Being
think that,
human.
yeah, exactly. I
Being
also feel
human.
like it also distills the idea that those that are really connected to their gifts and um, have answered the call to like deeply commit to the embodiment of them and the practice and the offerings that will come through them, like that
Mm-hmm.
that it makes them superior, you know, like I don't
Mm-hmm.
feel a sense of superiority in our spaces. Like it is truly a collective, and we also know that everyone is super powerful, and there's like this real invitation for anyone who comes into space with us to grow in that also, for themselves and for their own communities and whoever it
Mm-hmm.
is, their beloved community.
Mm-hmm.
I yeah, I've been thinking about that a lot lately. um,
Mm-hmm.
who
Mm-hmm.
are the example of beloved community for me and who have continued to commit to that blueprint, uh, and have me included in it, you know, like I think that that's, I don't know, maybe it's also like I'm headed into my fourth decade of like
Mm-hmm.
existence, and I feel like that four is like looking for that stability. So I'm I'm like, who are they? Who are the folks that are like my foundation, my roots, my grounding? Like, who truly holds me as beloved, and who in that like is truly loving me in the walk, you know, um,
Mm-hmm.
and seeing me. Um, I know that we've come to talk also about the part of the course that I'm gonna be holding, and I think
Yeah.
that like the decision to invite me into the conversation of radical ethics is like absolutely perfect. Like,
You know, it always works out in that way, you know? But
yeah.
there are moments that people just think like sometimes like I'm really random, but sometimes it's random when you spirit talks to you, right? And I was like, oh, you know what? JL, ethics. Something about, I can't remember what it is that we were talking about, but I was like, oh, right. I would like us to look at ethics this way
Mhm.
because it was not about the rule. When we spoke about it, it was not about a rule that is an ethics. Most people think of it as. It was a living, evolving thing that holds ourselves accountable. That's what what I heard when you talked about it.
Yeah. I when I think about ethics, in this way, in the way that you're talking about,
Yeah,
I recall a conversation, and folks who have been in circle and space with me also know this is one of the protocols that I hold for myself. But I had this conversation with one of my mentors, my big sister, a growing young elder in the Lakota tribe. She's an Oglala matriarch. And her name is Davidica Little Spotted Horse. I love her so deeply. She, the echoing of her in my kitchen and me telling her, I just want to be like on like doing the right thing. I want to be in the right way, in my spiritual work and my path. Thinking about this kind of like way of moving in an ethical, spiritual path. And she said to me, in my people's belief, like, we don't believe in right or wrong. We
hmm,
believe honorable and dishonorable.
right.
Um, and she said, but the problem is that so many folks now are being raised in a way where they can't discern that. Like, they can't fully go to the root of discerning, is
Yeah,
this something that is honorable to do or
yeah.
dishonorable? And so instead,
Mm-hmm.
people turn to these like rules, like you say, these ethics that have been designed and created by others outside of themselves, institutions
Right.
like governance, what have you, people who have had
Yeah,
experience outside of their own realm of existence. And in that,
yeah.
we given up our discernment to those
Right.
institutions. So I
Mm-hmm.
invite us into this. I have so much to say about it and so many tools to like re configure within ourselves and untangle the
Yeah,
the radical like part of ourself that can say, if in an exchange of being in healing practitioner, of being trusted to hold someone's spiritual path or to hold someone's spirit, that we can truly have guidance that is like fully
yeah,
and um like responsive, relative,
yeah.
like relational
Mm-hmm.
to the moment that we are in. And then
Yeah,
like you're, those things will evolve with time,
yeah,
because we will have more to discern from. Me
yeah,
becoming a mother has changed my ethics a little bit. Like,
yeah,
um, me experiencing some of the deepest heartaches in my life, having been challenged by my own community in ways that were very harmful and hurtful to my physicality and my spiritual self. Like, those things are going to shift what I once believed
yeah.
um, was the right way to do and to
Mm-hmm.
live, be, and to relate.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm super excited to share all of those pathways, that I've lived through in all of the different configurations of my life, and I'm excited to welcome folks to really interrogate for themselves what that looks like for them. you know?
Yeah. So now I remember. I was sitting in a class with you, and you shared your community agreement, and that part of like there's no right or wrong, but there's only honorable and dishonorable. That's when I was like, oh yeah, she needs to be teaching this class. That's what I thought. That's what that was.
Yeah.
And that always have rung true to me, right? But the way that you are explaining it to me now even makes me think about the time that we live in the modernity that we live in, because I think honorable and dishonorable is also related to loyalty.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now that's actually coming to me, that when we actually place our loyalty to an entity institution that doesn't hold a certain value, then our
Mm-hmm.
ethics starts to shift too, is what I'm actually noticing. Because some people, maybe I'm honorable, but I'm honorable to this, and if that thing is not honorable to life affirming choices, that's what I kind of go by. Like, is this life affirming for most things and people, or is it dehumanizing or like non-life affirming for all the things, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a simple human being, so I'm like, life affirming, not life affirming. That's like where my like honor and dishonor goes.
Yeah.
And that's not how most people's brain are wired, I realized.
No. Yeah. Because it's so deeply connected to, as you're saying, like loyalty that's really
Hmm.
rooted in belief. And what sometimes folks don't, we want to deny in ourselves, is that those that have created our beliefs themselves also are not what is this called, like that they're like what we were talking about before, about like not being perfect, that they're perfect, like these folks who have, like that those folks are absolutely perfect in creating those parameters for us. And so we stay not only loyal, but there's like sometimes, like, again, the superiority conversation that is involved, right? Like people want to be loyal to power. And if the ideas of power that you find yourself um, adhering to, or like glorifying in any way, if those forms of power are, as you are saying, like not life affirming, they're violent, they're like, they're deceitful, they're mm, dehumanizing, all of this. If those that are creating your constructs of like belief are doing
Hmm.
that, you gotta
Hmm.
check. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
it's it's something very real, that we allow others to create our belief systems so much,
Yeah.
um, and in that we we give them the free reign to create our compass, like our spiritual compass.
Yeah.
And we have to work to reconfigure, to be intact again, in being able to be guided in a way that is just, is loving, is in integrity, is honest.
Hmm.
Yeah, because like I'm just out here. What a time also having this class.
it
Yeah,
is
and then I was
it
also,
is the it is the perfect time to be having this class,
yeah,
because
perfect.
of the time that we're living in.
Yeah, and I was sharing with Aki, because of the time that we're living in, like there are things that are reflective in my own intimate life right now that are mirroring that, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I have so much to share in my intimate spaces of relation and living, where I've had to confront ethics being broken and ethics being compromised, and then also my ethics being confronted with others' ethics, and the conflicts and the tensions that come into play. And so I think that it's also something for us to also begin to move into interrogation for ourselves is, what is this time teaching us of ourselves? You know,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
um,
Yeah. Yeah.
how are we learning about the ways in which we need to grow and being able to navigate, which is the reason why coming to be a part of C.O.R.E in this very moment, I feel like the cohort that will come in is going to have so much that they're going to be tangibly being having to work through as we're
Yeah.
going through. This is not about just like theory or like just in case in the future if these things come into play. I believe that anyone who's coming to take this course for this next 15 months alongside us are going to really find that everything that's being taught will be so tangibly relevant to whatever it is that they're living through because of the time that we are particularly in this moment. So,
Yeah. And that also reminds me to remind people.
mhm,
What you said reminds me to remind people, and me too,
mhm,
that when we are so integrally walking on our spiritual path, and I don't mean a particular practice or belief system. You don't have to believe in God to be spiritual, in my opinion. You don't have to believe in anything. If we believe in the human goodness, to me, that's spiritual. Or the reciprocal nature that we have with all that's around us. That's to me spiritual. So the idea of spiritual is kind of loose for me, but when we start to walk on this path and start to become clearer and clearer, that doesn't mean that things are not coming at us, coming to us.
mhm.
I think we only have more tools, so we actually get to handle more. You're
Yeah.
not always doing arithmetics, right? Like once you finish arithmetics, you will be doing algebra, and then eventually you have to do calculus or whatever it is. Like I can't do math, so I don't know why I'm bringing math, but that's the only one that I know is like a step by step by step.
Mhm,
And for me, this program is for those that who are clear they are walking on that path, whatever that path is, and they know that there is something that we can build together
mhm.
that's not here yet,
Yeah.
and we need each other to do that together.
Mhm. It truly is a cohort, but folks
Yeah.
have to be willing to to really do the work of building a cohort. You know,
Mhm.
we
Mhm.
we do the first step of gathering and inviting the spiritual alignment of folks
Mhm.
entering, but 15 months of committing to a group of individuals who are aligned with you and really from day one, like welcoming the ability to trust that the folks that have come into the space are meant to be there with you for whatever reason, whether it's that they're there to challenge you or they're there to amplify what's already like shining in you.
Yep.
They're there for a reason, and committing to 15 months is a hard thing for people these
Yeah.
days,
Yeah.
you know, folks.
Mhm.
And the invitation is to go beyond that, even like,
Yeah.
like to go
I'm
beyond
in.
it way with like, Minka, who's now gonna be like this year 10 years old. Yeah, this.
Yeah.
So it's like, to truly be in a committed relationship with folks who you have recognized are on similar path for longer than just a program. That's the invitation. The
Yep.
continuity is so invited.
Yep.
uh and
Yeah.
yeah, and I want to say that's the invitation, right? To come and be a part of it. you
Just
know
to come.
Arrive
Just
and truly believe in it. Believe that you're saying yes to this because you are a person who is saying to yourself, yes, this is me, that that person that must be in that space is me. Um,
Hmm. Yeah, and we have many ways to try to make that happen. You know, we have payment plan, we have scholarship, we have, work exchange, we have organization rate. Just come. Want
yeah.
to make it happen.
Yeah.
Just want to make it happen.
Yeah.
Want to make it happen because this feels good at the end of the day.
Mhm.
It's not that scary like how people make it to be. I
Mhm.
mean, if we are not engaging in it, sure, it might be scary, uh,
Mhm.
but it's the most loving thing we can do for ourselves, to be honest, and want to practice how we can love one another better.
Yeah. Yeah. I love
That's a
you.
cancer talking. That's a cancer
I know.
talking.
I have a cancer. I hear it. And then also now my cancer child is screaming, so I think I have to
Yes,
go now.
I can see. Yeah, your cancer child is calling. Well, thank you for your time, my love. It's always lovely to be with you, and I'll see you in New York.
Yay! And I hope to see all of you online with us. So peace, everyone.
Yes,
Good night,
starting
Aki.
January
Or
20th.
good night for me. Okay.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye. So yeah, thank you, JL, for joining. Consciousness of Radical Equity starts on January 20th, all online. This is a program where we are going to work with the three pillars of equity, spirituality, and embodiment in order for us to become the leaders that is usher in this new world, new reality that we all want to see. So join us. We have different programs to make sure that you can join. Just reach out to us. If you want to join, you don't know how, just reach out. Um, Registration is on our bio link and all of that. Love to have you. Send us questions. See you there.